Good morning, everybody. Today is Friday, May 7th. It's well over a month and a half that since I made my deputation to council, and going on 9 years since I made my May 24, 2012 building permit application. And we have a council who literally refused to acknowledge that there's some problems in our building department. Although they did form a committee to review the building and planning department, they spent who knows how much money on this report from Performance Concepts Consulting, which funny they don't disclose the cost of all these items. We've had numerous complaints made against the manager and this, who's also the CBO. He sat on the board of the Heritage Board, and literally they couldn't tell that the old stone house in Lakefield was was a heritage property. You can't make this shit up. But going back, he issued a permit to demolition permit to remove to tear down the building. Anyway, that created a stink. He's caused problems for Tom Alexander at the old Buckhorn Lodge, who he did issue a permit to renovate and fix it up, but because of he put in a new front door that he didn't put on the drawings, they got into a dispute. Now, interesting enough, changing the front door, all he had to do was modify the drawings and explain what he was doing. But Rob Lamar chose to, because it was a conflict, chose to put him through the ringer as he does with anyone who opposes him. He turns around and creates other problems like he's done with me for the last 9 years. If you correct one thing, he adds something else to be more vindictive. What I'm now seeing here is we have a council that's been protecting him for the last 20 years. And I've now come to the conclusion there is a reasoning behind it, because we have members on our council that sit on the Orca board, and where I'm bringing this to is the fact that we have so many minor variances that must be approved, and each of these minor variances, something like 80% goes to the Orca board, and the other part goes to the township. So it's a money-making process. Now, going back, Mr. Lamar, who's in charge of every step of production or every step of improvement in our township, he basically sets the rules, and our council does nothing. At this point now, I'm after listening to Jerry Herron's comments on the Rice Lake issue and telling them to basically break the law, I'm going to begin my renovation and add on my rooms and go from there. What are they going to do? Take me to court and let them explain themselves? But the fact that I will be going back to court and have to pay, and then the township will have to pay for a lawyer to defend it, only brings back to the point where is our council doing the job that they're paid for? We voted them in to look after the running of our township, but they seem to be spending more money on bullshit like this than, again, this building and planning service review. They don't have to follow it. In fact, what's happening is the wrong people are leaving our township. We've lost one of the building inspectors, although he wasn't at par. He took too much after Rob Lamar with his antics. But we have our planner, Miss Thompson, leaving. And again, where the intake clerk is not coming back. Why are we losing all these employees, and yet Rob Lamar, the true culprit and the evil person behind most of the problems we've had in this township, is still working. It makes no sense. Now, again, why? Why is this council not issuing my permit? That don't make sense, because there's not much I can put back on my drawings to show compliance. I know there's no legal requirement that I haven't met, but anyway, there's something strange going on. We'll have to see when I go back to court, which is hopefully this COVID-19 will be over soon. But in the meantime, my point now is, if I have to go back to court, then this council should automatically step down, because they are wasting our tax dollars over a issue that should never have gone to court in the first place, and they're protecting a bully. And according to most people, bullying and intimidation is against the law. But the fact that he took me to court violated a number of the criminal statutes, and he should have been charged, but they cover up again, because we pay the lawyers, our township pays for lawyers to defend their actions. And this is where we got to start changing some of the laws. No one should be above the law. And to use the money that I pay and you pay to defend them is insane. But we have to hire a lawyer to get anything done. There's no logic to this. Anyway, I've been through this too many times. But again, you got to keep up fighting, or we'll never get changes. And again, we need the right people in office, not people who think they can bully and intimidate people into doing things. And why we have so many closed door meetings for council meetings with the lawyers and with Mr. Amar and that, I have to question that. Something's wrong in our township. We need to get an OPP investigation done. The following criminal code I clips from and pasted put to here are some of the criminal codes that Rob Lamar has violated in order to intimidate and bully me, and has been allowed to do so with the council's permission. And this has been going on for many years with other residents. And the fact that these I'm putting up here, and they were sent these actual copies of this to explain, they just ignored it because their lawyers can tie me up in court forever, but they can't hide the truth. Eventually it will come out, and I will not stop until this township is corrected the problems that they created by putting one man in charge of all planning and building and basically any new development, and he controls the bylaw enforcement. It's insanity at its finest. As I stated, each of these criminal codes were sent to the council members, along with many letters and emails, and they have done nothing. These, the fact that Rob Lamar canceled my first garage workshop permit and extorted 55% of my fee, and then I got the permit issued by Young Austin Reinhardt based on the same application and drawings, and a second full permit fee, that shows extortion and fraud. Hopefully I will get some justice, and this council will step in and do the right thing, or we're going back to court.